Scott Emerson with the Athletics, he sends me video of guys' foot strike, and I was like, man, this is amazing, because you can literally see how the athlete prefers to land. There are guys that literally, they heel contact into a roll. There's some guys that toe and heel down, and then there's some foot flat landing, okay? The guys that are more flat when they land, they have an option that you can potentially make them, I think, more quad dominant or glute dominant. But if you take a guy that lands on his heel, okay, he's more anterior chain, all right? And then you get him to sit back, that's changed what his preference is in his entire body. He's more front body oriented than back. So that happens. So you alter the mechanical adjustments. Now these things all converge. Incompatible mechanical adjustment, these things are no good potentially. Well, then you have impaired energetics, so you don't process energy well. You don't use calories in a manner to recover, right? And recovery is the key. So we have lots of different recovery systems from the biochemical level, you have neurological recovery, you have cognitive recovery. These things are all impaired, and what happens is you have altered strength profiles. That's why I love strength, because strength is the window into all of this, okay? You will understand that, and you will understand this when you look at strength. Altered strength tells you so much about the psychophysiologic determinants of injury and the coaching determinants of injury. Tons. Okay? And they may not feel burning or anything in their arm, but they have either central peripheral nervous system fatigue, and we go through that in the Certified Arm Care Specialist course, that you'll be able to understand, where they're at. Okay? And the thing with these incompatible mechanical adjustments, they will be more taxing for an athlete. Not only cognitively, but physically, right? You're going to burn more calories if you have to think about it. There's some stress there, especially if they don't agree with what you want them to do, right? But here's the issue now. Here's now the mechanical determinants of injury. You lead to biomechanical compensation. It's not fatigue driven. It can be, but you've also altered the way that they throw, so that in itself is a compensation they're not used to. And they're trying to figure out ways between old and new to keep them healthy. I'm going to tell a quick story. There was a player who we signed, so gifted. When you talk about, in my mind, a beautiful delivery, it was great. However, he had arm pain, lots of it. So when you see pain, and I go through a process with you guys, you'll see the strength and coordination tree. When you see pain in an athlete, something's not functioning well. One, you got to check the strength, and we'll talk about that. But his delivery, that as perfect as it looked to me, was causing him pain, and he went to someone else in the off season. Okay? This person corrected his pain. He threw the same way all off season. He fought tooth and nail to get away from his old self. Okay? So they realized this mechanical or motor preference was not good for him. They had to alter his motor preferences to keep him healthy, right? It took a while. He gets to spring training. They video him. We sit in the room, and somebody in the front office says, "We didn't draft that. Bring him back to who he was. We did not draft this player the way he's delivering the baseball." So, spring training isn't a great place to go and start making mechanical changes, right? All off season, they've developed this habit. We go in there, and we are now aggressively trying to get him to go back, right? He's adopted this new strategy, he threw almost daily to pick it up. Not always high intensity, but to feel what he needed to feel. And within 11 days, he had Tommy John surgery. Okay, and that happens a lot. It's a communication issue, but people aren't converging on the well-being of the player, and they're looking more at the ball flight characteristics. Because honestly, if you look at player health before ball flight, you're probably going to have that player for much longer, right? If ball flight's important to you and the player health isn't, he better be really good, and you better move him up as fast as possible, okay? So the biomechanical compensation is a killer because this alters joint forces and stress tolerance, okay? Stress is basically force over the cross-sectional area of a tissue. So if you're jacking up forces because they're, they may be at ball release here, now they're over rotating, there could be something different, that you're doing with the player. But you change the stress tolerance and then it leads to increased strain and micro damage. And if that keeps happening in that cycle, all right, you're gonna lead to more catastrophic injuries. It's gonna be a problem.